Oh my God, Kayla's in the shot.
Nah, she's good. What's up, guys? It is Blackouts with After Hours Gaming, and today is our first episode of our podcast, After Hours, and this is your co-host, Gauntlet.
Hi, I'm Gauntlet.
You
So,
wanna introduce yourself, and tell them a little bit about yourself?
hi there. My name's Gauntlet. I'm part-time pirate and full-time weirdo. You know what? Let's get right into it. So I'm wearing an eye patch right now because a couple days ago I woke up and my eye was hurting. It was kind of like throbbing, and this morning I wake up and it's swollen, and I can't even really open it. And I put some new like eye drops in, and it's looking better. But I have to keep this on just because bright lights and everything have been really messing up
You
my
had
focus.
been complaining about that for a little bit, probably
I
for like the
have,
past 2 days, right?
yeah, no, I have, and honestly, I thought maybe my dog, like every time in the morning, we're just like around 7 o'clock. That's normally when we wake up, and she's used to that by now. And the way she wakes us up or wakes me up is that she goes on my chest. But if I don't wake up right away, she lunges at me, and now and then her paw will hit me in the eye. So I literally thought she gave me a black eye by
Yeah,
punching me.
it's possible.
It's not that. I
It's
mean, it
possible.
could be. It's possible. The other theory is that I just have like an infection. It could have been that I didn't wash my hands and then I like touched my face, and whatever it was, I either had an allergic reaction to it or maybe it just messed up my
You
eye.
know what my theory is? My theory is that
What's your
your eye
theory?
patch is actually part of your lifeline from a parallel universe, and that's your eye
Yeah,
patch is like bleeding into this universe or this
yeah.
parallel.
In my past life, I
Yeah,
was a
so
I was a pirate.
in one
Pirate.
parallel, you're a pirate or a thug of some sort, and you've got yourself into this sticky situation where you need an eye patch because your eye got injured, and you're gonna lose it in that line, but in this line, it's just bleeding over into this, and
It's just
it's
hurting.
like deja vu,
Oh my god,
basically.
yeah.
I think that would
I
be crazy. Imagine if
Dude, oh my god. I mean, just talking about like parallel universes, and I've told you this. I've told you this. I honestly feel like in my past life, I was like, I was either a race car driver or I was like a daredevil because I'm always when I'm driving, I speed a little bit, like whatever. This is everybody
it's
speeds, but
2021, everyone
yeah,
speeds.
dude,
Yeah,
when I start like drifting or like even on ice and I start like, dude, I'm all for it. I'm like letting it go, and then I'm like
you're just like,
turning the
yeah,
wheel and I'm feeling it. I'm turning up the
whipping it
music.
back around.
And when
I,
I'm on the highway and I see someone pass me, I'm like, nope, gotta go faster. Gotta
yeah,
go fast, like like
Tokyo
Sonic.
Drift,
Oh yeah, Tokyo Drift. Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
too,
That
or
that's more
Sonic,
American.
or Lightning McQueen, or
Dude,
any of the above.
Kachow,
Yeah,
Kachow. Oh.
I believe it.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm Gauntlet. We got a little off topic, but I play video games. I love wearing Carhartt. If you can't tell, I'm like wearing like Carhartt shirt.
Hmm.
That's like my brand. I mean, all these hoodies you can see. You can see
Yeah,
in the background. Also, love Baby Yoda. I can't get my finger there,
you
but
and the one
he,
that's right on your chair,
yeah,
like right
right
here.
under there. He watches me. He watches me when I
Yeah,
sleep.
between
I know that's not his main
Carhartt and
reason.
Baby Yoda slash Star Wars, you guys are gonna be or we're gonna be sponsored by them.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
they're already lining up. I'm already getting
exactly.
calls from them right now.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah, it's them right
you
now.
said you like playing games. So what's your favorite video game out right now, or a
Uh, you know,
video game of all time too? I guess that could work.
See, if we're going for all time, then I have to go with Sly Cooper back in
The original games.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original PlayStation. That was really good. If we're talking about a game that just like came out right now, um, we just both of us we just start playing two new games. One
Hmm.
of them was Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of people are they're giving it, they're kind of giving it a little bit of bad rep. It is very buggy. It does have, some problems. Story-wise, really good.
The interesting to piggyback on that, the interesting thing about the bugginess of Cyberpunk is the fact that people love bugs when it comes to Bethesda games, like
Yeah.
Skyrim or Fallout. People love that. Like it is what it is because it's a Bethesda game and you expect it to have bugs. But Cyberpunk was supposed to be this like game of the times where everything's up to date and the graphics are incredible and there's just so much to do, and it's like you got to realize that, I mean, this is just me understanding that the developers, they did work. Yes, I mean, yeah, the game's a little disappointing when it comes to the graphics and everything. I mean, they could be better. I heard they're really good on PC if you have like the high end graphics card.
Oh,
And the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing with
no.
the new consoles. But and I think that they wanted to push it back to the new gen systems, like the Xbox Series X and then the PlayStation 5, and I think that's the smart decision on them, even though they got ridiculed for it. I
Yeah,
see why they did, because it runs better on it, the graphics look better on it, it plays better on it, and it just needed to be released on that, and they should have just left it alone. I mean,
no,
yeah.
no, dude, I definitely agree. But here, I don't know if you've seen the review on IGN's like top
Mhm.
20 worst games of 2020. When they mentioned Cyberpunk 2077, they only mentioned the consoles. They didn't mention PC because PC's been doing pretty well. I mean, yeah, there's still bugs and stuff, but like
Yeah,
you said,
it's
it
just
is running way better.
right. It's just most people can't. It's not that most people can't afford a PC, because let's be honest, your medium budget PCs are going to be just as much as your console probably.
Yeah, I think
I mean, people
Best
are
Buy
paying.
sells one for like five, six
Right.
hundred dollars. So
Yeah. So
that's
you
around
could
the
you
new.
could easily get one and you could upgrade it, and mine, I just started upgrading and I've had this for 4 years, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, around there. I
Yeah, it's
think.
been a while that I've had this, and I just upgraded the graphics card this year. And I just upgraded the RAM for Christmas. But like I said, it's a PC is something that's going to carry you through years. A console is going to be a 10 years max. And then after this
No,
set of consoles, they're talking about they've been talking about it for years. After this set of consoles, they're not going to be doing consoles anymore, and how PC gaming is going to be the new thing. But it's like people like having the controller. I
yeah,
think
I
I
don't
think
think
I
that.
personally like having the controller. That's why I like console, but I also like PC because there's things you can do on PC that you can't do on.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, we collect systems. I mean, literally, I have the Switch, my PC, my Xbox. Um, I have the original Game Boy.
Yeah.
The Game Boy Advance. No, I mean, I'm like looking, but you can't even. I'm like, huh? What's going on?
Yeah, so I just think it's interesting how like one developer, the game is super buggy, but the game is great. Like the gameplay, if it's single player, it's great. But then this developer, they expected everything to be perfect, and then people were like, "Oh, it's not." So we want your heads on a stick.
Yeah,
Like it's
it was
terrible.
definitely it was definitely rushed,
The game's fun.
and
The game's fun.
oh,
It's got
dude,
a lot of
it's so much
content.
fun.
You can
I
put a
can't
lot of
tell you how
hours
many
into it.
hours.
And let's be honest, the graphics aren't terrible.
No, they're
It's
not.
not it's not what they show at E3 for the graphics, but it never is. The graphics at E3 are always up here, and the graphics for the actual game are always here. That's why like your animated games tend to do better, because they're more on par with what they actually look like in E3.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I
Well,
think the Division 2 is a good example of that, where it's like you have the puddles on the ground and the reflections in the windows and things like that, and it's like, yeah, it looks great, but that's the developer using top engine software that has, maximum amount of specs possible.
yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. I don't want. No, I. Have you played The Witcher 3?
Yeah,
Have you?
great game.
So when that game first came out, by the way, if anybody doesn't know about those two games, same
Developer.
basically, yeah, same developer. Witcher 3 had lots of bugs when it first came out,
Mhm.
lots of problems, and it actually became like the top game after
It was
what?
the game of the year for like not only did it get the Game of the Year award, but I think it got other awards along with it for like the next
No, yeah,
three years or so.
It definitely did. But
And the DLC
like I said,
even did it really well too.
give it a little bit of time. Like, yeah, the game has been out for what, like a month, 2?
November something.
Okay, so it's been out for a while.
Been about
But
2
they're
months.
constantly putting up updates.
It was like the end of November.
Yeah, I give it 3-4 more months. And
No,
I'm pretty
correction.
Sure
December. It was like December 16th.
it was. You know what? It was right after Thanksgiving. Cause yep.
I remember we all started playing it,
We did.
and they put out the second patch to like kind of stabilize things a little bit. But yeah, I totally get that. And The Witcher 3, when I first got The Witcher 3, when I was still playing on my PlayStation 3, it ended up being like it crashed so many times when I first started it, and I couldn't even play it. I couldn't even play it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So this is a new year. This is 2021. It's so weird to say that now, by the way. 2021, because 2020, I don't know if if you felt the same way. It went by really fast. Like the year just snapped.
I mean, we're all trapped inside, and there wasn't really a concept of time.
Oh,
dude, it's like is today Monday, or is it Wednesday?
Dude,
or
you're knocking right on my door right there. You're knocking on my door. There's been a couple good things that happened this year. And there's been a
ton of bad things too.
I mean, we had Corona, we had killing bees, yeah, man. Let's talk about the good things for 2020. So, you want to start it off? You want to start off by
Sure. So I think the best thing that happened in 2020, I mean, for me anyways, was obviously my real estate license. I got that, so I kind of I learned how to just basically run my own business and get to manage my own time and things like that. And so I did pretty well my first year. Sold 10 homes. But outside of work related things, let's see what games came out this year. The new Warzone came out this year. That game was fantastic.
Dude, Warzone,
okay,
they took a huge step forward. I'm just saying that because they had what was the one before
Blackout.
Warzone? It was Blackout was. I'm sorry, it wasn't that good.
It was okay for what it was worth, but
it was a huge leap.
So basically, when the way that it kind of worked for me was, let's see, PUBG came out first. It was on PC. It was fun. Yeah. And then Fortnite came out before PUBG was on console.
Oh, dude, I remember.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to play Fortnite. And that's when everyone kind of hopped on the Fortnite bandwagon. When they first started doing like the Fractured Sky, and there were still Tilted Towers, and I don't even remember any at this point anymore. But then they added in like the challenges and your battle pass and things like that, where you could go through and you could get different cosmetics, and they did that well. And then PUBG kind of did the same thing, but then Blackout came out for Black Ops 4, and it was okay, but they tried to make it PUBG. Basically,
they added way too much.
Or they tried to make it Fortnite.
Zombies into zombie maps, which I thought was really cool, but it was like, you're not only fighting people, what was it, only 50 people? It wasn't even 100, right? It was like 50, 60 players. I don't think they did 100
first,
yet.
But then they turned it up, I think. I think they turned it up towards the end.
You know what? Yeah, there was like towards the end, yeah. But I think they were,
because they were trying to work out like the whole engine and things like that. But then, like I said, the crawling mechanic that was there was just broken. I hate it. I even hate it in Cold War. It's terrible. I mean, Cold War is a fun game, don't get me wrong, but there's actually this theory. Well, it's not a theory, but I thought about this the other day. I was like, okay, coronavirus came out right around the time that Warzone did.
It's not.
If you think about it, like that, it's just like the timing of it is ironic. How Warzone came out, and then the year went to shit.
Yeah,
everyone's trapped indoors.
Hashtag Activision started Corona.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the timing of it is just like extremely ironic, because they made like $1.3 billion off of it or something like that, just from cosmetic sales. like for your guns, for your gun skins, for your player skins and things
Character
like
skin.
that.
Yeah,
I think
let's
I,
talk
I
about
really think that they made a smart decision though by making it free to play and making it cross platform.
Oh, dude,
I
definitely.
think that's the smartest move they ever did
I
because it brought not only new people to the title of Call of Duty but old people back as well.
I mean, other games, were doing that as well. They were
Yeah.
also, they saw, wow, this is amazing opportunity.
But typically it was like Microsoft and PC could play together and then PlayStation was on its own.
Yep.
And now it's like everyone can
And
play.
now it's everyone, and that's great.
Yeah. So it's interesting for sure. What about you though? What's some good things that came out or that happened to you
So
in 2020?
I think personally one of the best things that happened to me was me and my girlfriend of almost 4 years. We got a dog. We named her Maple. She's like the craziest, sweetest crackhead dog.
Crack dog.
I love her to death. She's amazing. She's cute. You probably saw her roaming in the back right there. Yeah, I think I also got like a PC, which
Yeah.
I mean, I'm using
PC
right now,
gaming.
which is amazing.
Valorant.
Oh, dude, Valorant. I think
So there's Valorant, Fall Guys. So out of your PC experience so far, you've been playing Valorant, Fall Guys, a little bit of PUBG. We played Spellbreak, which is a good
Spellbreak as
game,
well.
but it kind of died off quickly.
We played Among Us. Which
Among
is
Us, that's
still
a
pretty going
huge
strong.
hit.
Yeah, I mean they're adding a new map. I think.
Yeah,
February,
and I
March?
think that kind of took. I think they took a step back because they didn't get it out quick enough, but I think it'll pick back up.
I hope so. I think the game.
I think a couple things that would help is definitely the new cosmetic items, new map, new tasks. I mean, obviously there's going to be new tasks with the new
they're
map
also
because all
doing
the other
new
ones do.
fatalities or
Yeah,
should-
new kill animations or whatever.
Yeah, kill animations. Which I don't know if you've seen the trailer, but it was like a huge blast towards one of them, and it just like vaporized them.
Do they have a trailer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder if I can get that in here towards the end. I wonder if I can pull it up and like.
Yeah.
Watch it.
I mean,
I haven't tried. I don't know that much about the. So I don't want to mess this up yet, but we'll try it at the end, and then maybe I can go back and edit it in or something.
Yeah. So a huge. So here's the thing about 2020. Movies went down. Video games went up. I'm just saying because sadly we can't go out. You can't go hang out with your friends.
So movies went down in the sense that the actual movie theater went down. The movies itself stayed. I would say definitely decreased because I mean they couldn't release them on time. I think Tenet was a huge one that they expected to do well, but because there weren't theaters,
did not.
It did well. It did well, but it didn't do as of well. And what was the other one that you just said?
Wonder Woman 2. That was supposed to do really well, but it didn't. It did less than the first one did, and
yeah, I don't want to talk about Wonder Woman.
You know what movie I really want to talk about right now, though? Yeah,
Waiting. I'm waiting.
Soul. Pixar's Soul.
Gotcha.
So I just watched it yesterday, and you watched it 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, I watched it already. I watched it the day after it came out because I had been telling Joanne, in case you guys don't know, that's my girlfriend. I've been telling her that I wanted to watch it, and so she was like, "Oh, like you pay for all our other subscriptions, so I'm gonna pay for a month of Disney Plus because we don't watch Disney Plus that much. I mean, I watch The Mandalorian through my Fire Stick, as most people do probably.
They got you now.
Yeah, they got me. But anyways, I watched it through my Fire Stick. I'm not all caught up, so no spoilers or anything like that. But Soul was a good movie. It's very interesting because people were like, oh, okay, we're gonna compare this to Inside Out because Inside Out it has to do with like your deeper concept, and it's kind of like a kid film because of the animation, but it's an adult film because it deals with emotions and topics and like how to comprehend your feelings in a healthy way, I guess.
So right here, this is gonna be like not really. I don't want to say spoilers because I don't think we're really gonna spoil much of the movie.
Well,
But
they can, if they need to be, they can go ahead and skip if they don't
kind
want
of
to hear
skip.
anything about it.
Yeah, yeah. Because we will be talking about this movie right now because there's a few topics I want to talk about. One of them being like how it made you feel like towards the ending because dude, that ending hit hard.
Yeah.
And also what you think.
So the ending was kind of confusing to me, and I need a little bit of an explanation, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But
No. I
go
can
ahead
definitely
and continue with what you're saying.
So okay, so there's a few things in here, and I feel like it kind of needs to be addressed. Is that so? Apparently, a lot of people are surprised in the message of the movie, like finding your purpose, basically.
Yes.
And you know the whole movie's basically
okay.
finding your purpose.
Correction. It's finding your spark, and I'll explain that. I don't know if you picked up on it.
No, it is
because they even corrected in the movie itself. They even corrected that.
But what I'm saying is that during the basically the beginning of the movie, you believe that whatever you're good at is like that's supposed to be your purpose. Like when Jamie Foxx's player, I'm trying to think of his name.
The main character, I don't remember
Don?
his name.
No. It was Joe. Thank you, Ghost. So Ghost's purpose, or what he believed, what his purpose was, jazz. What did I say?
You said ghosts.
Oh, ghost, whatever. His whole purpose is supposed to be piano because his father took him when he was a young kid, and that first jazz key, which, mind you, that also hit me. I grew up listening to jazz. My adopted parents, my stepdad or my adopted dad, he's a jazz musician.
Oh,
so that was awesome. Yeah. I don't talk about them that much.
Yeah, you're not even in touch with them still, are you?
I actually, I wouldn't say I'm still in touch with them. I did talk to my mother. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was like last night. She messaged me for New Year's, and
that's
we
nice.
talked for a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah, it was very great. I need to hit her back up.
You should go visit them at some point.
Yeah, honestly, they don't even live that far away. I'm just very lazy.
Yeah.
But during this whole thing, honestly, the beginning when he's just playing it, and when he's like, his eyes are closed, and you just hear his rhythm. That's when I knew this movie was going to be in like my top 10. Like, not even gonna lie, music is like, it hits me hard, and the whole story alone is amazing, and I love that they use I don't know if you noticed this, but they used very good quotes by, like, who did they do? Gandhi. They did
Socrates, or one of the famous Greek philosophers, at one point, because they were talking about how, like, so in the movie, the number 22, the soul that he's supposed to be able to help, he is like talking about all the people that had mentored him before and like got frustrated with him and whatnot, and how no one gave him a chance, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But they like ended up talking about some quotes in there as well. Yeah,
and I thought that was amazing, and I thought it was very like smart on their point because well, first of all, it's a Pixar movie. Pixar movies are amazing. But this went into depth into life itself.
Yeah.
They not only, this is a smart part on them, which I talked to my girlfriend about. When they talked about heaven and hell, they didn't really, they didn't say it was real, or they didn't say it was fake. They said the great beyond.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great part on them, because first of all, you don't want to throw too much religion.
Yeah, because then you're skewing your bases there, and so by doing that, they're appealing to everyone. Because they also talked about like the concept of like rebirth and reliving and a different life and things like that as well.
Yep. And dude.
So
I love
So
that
to,
movie.
to piggyback on that though, it was interesting though, just because it's like, yeah, they added in like different concepts and like different theories about how like no one truly knows what the afterlife is, and how, they no one knows where personalities come from other than like your child development and whatnot.
Yeah,
But it's like interesting though, because they even tied in like the I don't want to call it purgatory, but purgatory, like lost souls, like people who
yeah,
don't, like people who get like either obsessed with something so much that they become lost in it,
yeah.
or people who like have lost their way and are stuck there because
And I
they
love
haven't
how
found like
they actually
the
showed
ability to move on.
they showed that guy who was just basically just at his office, and he's just
Yeah,
basically just
and
typing, and he's
the same thing
lost.
with the guy with the metal detector too, where he was
Yeah,
like, gotta find it,
and,
gotta find it, and like,
and eventually, when they were able to save that guy, like
oh,
you could
my
see
alarm's
his
going off.
life. You could see that his life changed right there. And I
Yeah,
think the message for the entire movie is amazing, and
it's
it
not.
even made me think. I'm glad I watched it before 2021, because I
Mhm.
watched it last night right before New Year's, and I'm glad because it made me think about my life personally,
Yeah, it's
where
interesting.
I was going.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, t- to piggyback on the guy who was in the office. He was like a day trader or a broker or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
stock trader. But he was like, when he finally came back to and he realized that he was like becoming a slave to his job, he was like freaking out and like started destroying stuff. And then he was
yeah,
like you're free, like you gotta get out now, because it's like people don't realize that your typical 9 to 5 job is like, it's like slavery basically. Like it's the people who are wealthy, and I mean people who are wealthy, they earned it for sure. I'm not saying that they didn't, but it's like interesting because your 9 to 5 job, it's like you're working for someone, you slave away, and that's all you do. You wake up, you go to work. But I like how they touched on like that there's more to life than just work.
yeah.
There's more to
It's
life than just your hobby. There's more to life than just
and I
going out
love
and partying or
the whole like like going back into the purpose, like we both talked about this. So this is, by the way, I'm gonna say it right now. Huge spoiler. This is a huge spoiler. But towards the end of the movie, all right, when 22 finally gets her patch on Earth, and she doesn't know what it is. She doesn't know what her purpose is, and he he goes back to Earth and he starts playing his music, and he takes out each thing that she has had, and
creates a song out of
he,
it basically.
yeah, and then realizes that the whole system, that whole
It's
purpose,
literally each individual item or each individual experience that she had during her time on Earth created that beauty. Is
yep.
basically how I interpreted that.
And to that is that you should just live.
Yeah,
That's
it's
that's all that it was saying, is
right.
that even if your life isn't the best at one point, it is worth living because you'll get to a better point. So in his life, he thought he was happy, and then he became a third person point of view into his life and saw that he pushed away his mother, and his mother cared.
Yeah.
That his passion or his desire wasn't what he really wanted,
Mhm.
or at least he thought that's what he
Up
wanted.
until the entire time, so because in the beginning of the film, it's like three major points. So in the beginning of the movie, he goes through that thing where he's like, he was supposed to be Doctor Jorgensen or whatever, and they were like showing the memory of his life, and then it was like, oh, this is your life. And he started, and then like 22 like started showing up, and he's like, this is all your life is, like it's really boring. Why do you want to go back? It's like he realized he had wasted his entire opportunity to make his life
Right.
something, but at the same time, it's like three major points. He realized that he wasn't living his life the way that he wanted to, and then he realized that his mom cared about him, even though like she had explained it in a different way than he had expected it to, because he had been like blinded by the entire fact that she didn't want him to waste his life playing music or like chasing that
Yeah.
opportunity, because it basically gave him a high or whatever it was. He wanted
I
like
mean,
his big
but it
break, and he was expecting that. And then the third moment was when he like had played it and he was like, well, what now? Like, she's like, well, that's it. Like, you
Do
experienced
it
it and
again.
we're doing it again tomorrow. And it's like,
Yeah.
and so
Well,
he was just like, oh, well, I mean, everyone thinks that their purpose or that their life is about like their meaning or whatever, and it's like one big moment where it's like really, if you go back to the piano scene, it's really like a small collective of moments throughout your life that make the beauty of it.
and that's what I loved that Pixar did. They not only showed a piece of his life, but they showed us his childhood, like slowly going in when he's seeing himself in his happiest and his saddest moments. And
Hmm.
his mother made a good point when she said that she was caring, taking care of him and everything because her or his father was obsessed with jazz and it slowly consumed him. We already seen from like previous scenes before that a passion can consume you if you no longer live for that passion.
Yeah,
If you're like, for example, like if you're really good at playing the piano and then you become famous, it's no longer or
enjoyable
maybe,
because you
yeah,
don't have anything to
you lose the
pursue.
joy in that.
Yeah,
And I love that this movie came out before 2021.
2021.
And I feel like a lot of people should watch this. Even I would say even the beginning of January, I think everyone should watch this. This is a movie that I think, kids are going to enjoy, but I think the adults need to see it.
I think
Everyone who's been very had a hard year, which I'm pretty sure that's all
most
of
of
us.
us, yeah, if not all of
Um,
us.
they definitely need to see it because it hits hard. It hits hard, dude. There are some points. And I'm gonna admit this, and this is stupid, but I got really like teared up in some of those points because it made me think about my life and
Hmm.
like where I was going and where I wanted to be and everything. And we've talked about our dreams and everything,
Yeah,
and I've never pursued them as much as I want to now. And it's weird that a movie could make me feel this way,
right.
but
It's
it hits home.
it's interesting that like, because I mean, I think like especially teens who are kind of like trying to figure out their purpose in life, like people, I'd say from the time of like 15 to people in their in at like 30 who are still trying to figure out their life and like trying to figure out things.
Mhm.
Because I mean, let's be honest, 30 is not that old. I mean, yeah, I'm sure if you're young, it feels older, and if you're old, it feels younger. But
Yeah.
like for us, 30 doesn't seem that far out of reach,
Nope.
which is
No,
kind of
I'm
scary.
I'll be 25 this month,
Yeah,
man.
it's
I'll
kind
be
of scary,
25.
but yeah. Anyways, it's interesting though because like for kids, it's another animated film, and they're not gonna understand the deeper concepts of it. Sure, I mean maybe they could if their parents want to explain it to them or they want to look it up themselves. I mean YouTube's out there, so maybe someone will
Yeah.
watch this and understand it and be like, wow, I didn't realize there's that much in film and whatnot, and a lot of underlying themes. But then people who are in like their late teens and even like their early 20s or 30s, they understand like as adults we pick up on these things. We pick up on the dirty immature jokes that they put in movies, or we pick up on other themes or anything like that. So I mean that alone is why I love movies, because like for me Coco and Moana are like two of my favorite
Oh,
movies. They're hands down two of my favorite movies.
so good.
And they have their own themes too. I love themes in movies.
Oh, dude, I think it's amazing, and I think as much as I uh, dislike, and this will be another episode or something we could talk about because I personally do not like Disney as a company wise,
Mm-hmm.
but they make really good movies. Pixar, DreamWorks, they all make great movies.
Yeah.
And they have really good meanings. Even Shrek had a good meaning, and Shrek was Shrek.
Just because you're ugly doesn't mean you don't have a big heart.
Yeah, and if you're a donkey, it doesn't mean you can't be with a dragon. Who's gonna stop you?
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry. I had to take a moment because I
Gonna start crying.
soul Soul hit me hard, man. Like
Yeah.
it was definitely a great movie, and you know they really outdid themselves. And I actually watched all the way through the credits. I was I was hoping there was going to be another scene or something
Yeah.
about like
To see if
where
there's
he
gonna be a
takes his
second one or
life
something.
at, like, well, not even that, but where he goes in life. But I think that's the good part is that we don't know. They gave us two possibilities that he can go to that he felt the happiest.
Yeah.
One of them being a full time teacher, which in my opinion, I think he takes it
So
because he had the joy of teaching, and they show it several
mhm.
times throughout the movie that he has inspired people enough to where one of his
Being a
older
mentor.
yeah, one of his older students calls him up and was like, "Hey, there's a gig.
And
We
that it
need
actually gave him like the gig that he had been waiting for. So it's like you don't know where life is gonna take you, and you don't know when it's gonna happen, and you don't know if you're gonna die the next day. It's like
Yeah, I
you
mean,
don't know.
you should definitely live your life to the fullest and just live. Like,
Yeah. I
don't
mean, still
focus
pursue
on
your
one
dreams.
thing.
Just don't
Yeah,
focus. Don't
no, no, no.
don't fully put every ounce of your life into that one thing, expecting it to make your life where it is, and then be disappointed when it doesn't get to where you wanted
Yeah.
it to be. Because
Well,
so the thing that I stress about life, like just on a serious topic, is the idea that I don't like. I know what I want to do, but I'm trying to do too many things, and it's like, will I ever get there? I don't know. But will I pursue them? Yes. But I know that there's other things that I want to do along the way too. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is what I'm gonna do, and if I don't do it, then I'm not where I want to be.
well, yeah. So I don't know if you know. Do you know Jim Carrey's quote about his father?
I don't think so. You'd probably know.
Okay.
I'm not good at
So
quotes.
no, that's fine. So I'm just gonna sum it up because he's giving a speech to a bunch of people that have graduated college, and he talks about how his father wanted to be a comedian, but instead he chose the safe route and became it was like he worked at a bank or he worked for some
An
company.
investment banker or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Gotcha.
So eventually, down the road, he gets fired from that safe job instead of choosing. So the whole message is that if you're going to not fail, but if something isn't going to go your way in life, you shouldn't take the safe route. Some people can, and it may work out for them. But if you have a dream, chase it. You'll either fail and learn from it and
Yeah. And you'll find a
something better,
backup or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
or you take the safe route and you'll forever have to think about the what if moments.
Yeah. What if I didn't chase that?
And
I'd rather.
I don't like those because
Yeah.
I have a few, and I kid you not, I do not like those moments.
Yeah, I'd rather. I'm one of those people that I'd rather. Like, I hate regrets. I hate anything that makes me regret. So I'm one of those people that I'd rather do something and then learn from it and realize, like, hey, it didn't work out. What didn't go well? Can I fix it and perfect it and then achieve it, or can I not fix it and just find something else?
Yeah,
Because like
I mean,
I'd rather do something and learn that, hey, it's not doable, than not chase it and then be like, well, what if I did this, or what if I chased that, or there's too many what ifs to be disappointed in life, and it's only gonna leave you disappointed
yeah. I mean,
if you don't.
honestly, depending on what you believe in, uh, we mainly only get one life, or you only get this life right here that you're living, and you can play it safe your whole life and never have fun, never do or never chase your dreams, or you can chase your dreams, either succeed and fail and find something else you're passionate about and enjoy life. We've had this discussion before where you can always make money,
Yeah.
but you can't always make amazing memories. And
Mhm.
I remember when you told me that it was the first time we actually seen each other, and I was talking about like I was like, oh, I don't have that much money, maybe I should only come down for 2 days. But you're like, hey, you know, you make money all the time. He's like, but you don't always come here. Like it's a 7-hour drive.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen each
And
other.
I still tell my girlfriend that too, like that, because that's one of the biggest things in my belief is like, at the end of the day, a job is always going to be there, but it's not
Yeah.
like your family's not always going to be there, your friends aren't always going to be there, your opportunities aren't always going to be there. I'm a firm believer, like there's like a two knock rule. It's like if that door doesn't, or if that door opens, great, you have that opportunity. If that door doesn't open, next. You go to
Yeah.
the next one.
There's always
same
going to
thing.
be
There's always
going to be doors.
right.
They either open or they shut, and
But
it's
you're
either
not
good
always
or
gonna
bad.
have. You're not always gonna be in good health. You're not always gonna have the opportunity to travel. You're not always gonna have the opportunity to chase. You're not always gonna have the opportunity to chase what you want. You're not always gonna have an eye patch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this was kind of like a push for us. I mean, we've always been talking about doing
A podcast or
a podcast,
something. Yeah.
and we kept pushing it back. But then we got the mics, we got the PC, we got the cameras now and everything.
Yeah, and now
we're
we
like,
know
you
how
what?
to.
Let's stop pushing this back. Let's just do it. Like,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen? We both
If it doesn't
enjoy.
work out, it doesn't work out.
I mean, we enjoy playing video games with each other. We talk like every day. I don't think there's a moment I don't talk to you.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is completely jealous of our love.
It's okay. I'm jealous of her too, so it's fine. She's probably got it better than I do.
Yeah. But you know what? So we're gonna change the subject now. Let's talk about what this podcast is gonna be about. I mean, we've already talked about movies. We talked about video games. We talked about 2020.
So I do want to touch on one thing before we go to the next topic.
No, go
So-
on.
So I'm really interested in like I wouldn't call it, I guess they're other worlds or like spiritual worlds or anything like that, or like astral worlds. You know how like
Yeah,
astral
like-
projection and whatnot. So I love Doctor Strange. It's probably my favorite Marvel film because of that specific thing about how it deals with like spirituality. Like so Doctor Strange, he's obviously the doctor. He only believed in science. He never believed in the other half. He never believed in the spiritual world or anything like that until it changed his life. And once he got into that, he started learning how to astral project. My favorite scene in that movie is the hospital one where he gets like shocked out of his body and you can see his like spirit, and then they're like fighting in the spiritual world. So I think that's really interesting.
Dude,
But
I
then
thought that was amazing.
then and Soul, they also talked about like the astral world and how when you play your music and you become so in tune with like that high that you get from being in that moment that you like go into another world almost, and like the people who were in the spirit world could see them and they were like floating up in that cloud thing. Or that crystal thing or whatever it was. That was a really interesting thing. And then they were like, oh, like even the guy who was what's his name? The main guy with the beard who like helped them in the spirit world.
Oh yeah, the like
The hippie dude.
the guy who's flipping
Starmind or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember his name.
I can't.
But
remember,
he was like
he was amazing.
he could even get into that, and he knew he could get into that and control it. But I've always found that interesting because I find like Inception interesting too, because Inception deals with like the idea that you can like go into people's dreams and like basically create a heist to steal ideas from people. It's like super interesting that people come up with this stuff, and I'm like lucid dreaming. There's also that horror movie that Insidious, where the little kid learns to lucid dream, and his dad used to do it, but then the little kid
Insidious,
gets taken out of his soul or he gets stuck in that world because the ghost took over his body or whatever.
Yeah, because
And so he's like trying to get
body and
it's like
come back to it.
it's very interesting. I find that really interesting though, because like I can lucid dream, but I don't know how to control it. I can lucid dream, like I find myself right either as I'm falling asleep or right when I wake up early in the morning. If my eyes are still closed and I'm in tune to like hearing things around me, I can force myself to lucid dream, and I can be like, okay, this is what's going on. I can also fully like wake myself up out of dreams. Like if I'm having a bad nightmare, I can literally be like, I need to wake up now, and then I'm awake.
Yeah, I can't do that.
But yeah, I
can't
just find
do
that
that.
interesting. So, anyways, to go on though, like about the future of the podcast though, I think in the future, we'd also talk about crazy things like that. Like we could talk about how UFOs were confirmed by the government, or
Can we just let me just add one thing since you talked about UFO. I love how when they were giving, I can't take myself seriously with this eye patch. But I love when they were giving like the speech about coronavirus and everything. It was like basically it's like, yeah, coronavirus is very, very bad. Also, aliens exist, and the
Yeah.
one thing we want to do is we want to make sure everybody's safe. Also, there's aliens here already, and we just want to make sure the hospitals are fine. It's like, are you kidding me?
and then
Everyone
they're
just
like,
passed by
here's a
it.
500-page CIA documents that
Yeah.
shows that the Pentagon has been studying UFOs, and we have an entire task force dedicated to them.
Yeah.
That's like, what the hell?
Here's the proof we're not lying.
And
What are you guys talking about? Aliens? They don't exist. I don't,
So-
where did you get this info?
yeah, so we'll talk about that more in another episode because that will keep me going for an hour because I have a whole lot of like documents and things that I want to talk about with that.
So basically, our podcast, the name is called After Hours. Basically, when you go to a bar, you're always talking about whatever. Different day, different things. We're meeting new people every day. Hopefully, we'll have some interesting people coming on. We're already in talk on having a few guests come on. One of them being a very interesting photographer who loves space.
Yeah.
So, we also have like a teacher who loves books, and we'll find a good book to read. Stuff like that.
Yeah, there's definitely some good books. Steal Like an Artist. It's one that helps content creators. There are several YouTubers that have recommended it, and it's like quotes. It's not like a full-on book, but it is a book. Though.
I just got I wouldn't even call them books. Well, they're kind of books, but
survival
for Christmas I got like the survival. Like if you're stranded on an island, I have one that's like an ex-CIA or no Navy SEAL who wrote 2 books on how to make a gun using a friggin' pen and stuff like that. Like just random things that you just don't think about. And
but Gauntlet thinks about.
I think each episode I will find one in any of those books, and I will give you like
a rundown on how to do it.
on how to do it. Yeah, I'll do that each episode. Today
Yeah.
I won't because I guess I didn't really think about that, which I should have because I was reading them.
Yeah, so I think, well, first of all, the term after hours, I don't know if you have like your own meaning behind it, but for me, it's like we're your common people, but after work or after hours, we play games and we watch movies or things like that, and that's kind of like how our life revolves around. It's like
We're a bunch of nerds.
pretty much. I mean, we're here talking about themes behind movies and whatnot.
Baby
so
Yoda.
yeah, Baby Yoda. So yeah, I just think like each episode will end up being either like stupid or motivational or like movie themes or games or life in general, things like that.
You never
like,
know what you're gonna get with each episode.
or if you guys have something to suggest too, I mean, feel free to comment down below. Or
oh yeah, honestly,
anything like
we're constantly. I mean, we literally had a long what was that? Like an hour, almost 2 hours, talk about Bigfoot.
Mhm.
So literally, guys, just wait. There's gonna be
a
lot of
lot
discussion.
coming your way. We're
We'll
gonna
talk
have to
about
do
the
Bigfoot and the UFO
Illuminati.
episode together.
Illuminati, where are they?
Yeah.
What are they doing right now?
Oh, and then anime too.
Oh, dude, I gotta get into it.
We'll do a whole nother segment on it.
Not today.
Do
Yeah.
a whole
We'll,
nother segment on it.
we'll give some recommendations and we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll find someone who's really good into anime or maybe anime art, maybe a cosplayer. Maybe we'll have someone come on.
It'd be crazy if we could actually get like someone who like draws for an anime studio or something like that and interview them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Goodness. Dude, that'd be awesome.
Right.
Well, but you never know. I know a few people, so maybe we can. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how long this is. I'm pretty sure this, so far,
It's almost been an hour, I think.
almost an hour. So I don't know how long we were gonna have this episode going. I don't think we'll have it too long.
But we've got a lot coming your guys' way this year for sure.
Yeah.
So,
oh my god.
keep your eye out.
Hopefully, what did you just say?
I said keep your eye out. You know, you have one eye. That's why I didn't say keep your eyes. I didn't say keep your eyes
We're
out.
already doing that.
Yep, we're already doing it.
Already making fun of me.
Yeah, so in the future, guys, we have more podcast episodes coming your way. We have some gaming content coming your way. We've got some interview segments coming your way. And our favorite, which we just learned how to do today, is we're going to have stupid Vine, stupid TikTok compilations, like
Oh my
cringy
God.
stuff. Or even maybe some scary stuff that we react to. So keep your guys' eye out for that as well. And if you guys don't follow us on social media, we will include those in here. And also follow those to keep updated on future videos. And don't forget to subscribe, because that will, and ding dong that notification bell, because that will let you know when new videos go live.
And maybe next video, I won't be wearing this stupid iPad. And whoever wears an iPad.
Or maybe it's your signature piece now.
Please don't make it my signature piece, guys. I can barely see. You see this? Just keep rubbing against my eyeball.
Yeah, your other eye's gonna be swollen, then you're gonna have two. Hey guys, so it looks like we've got both eyes swollen shut now.
What's going on, guys?
Cyclops.
Oh, that hurt.
Oh, you're closing your third eye now. We're gonna talk about
Okay.
we're gonna talk about the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you guys in the next episode. This is Blackouts and Gauntlet signing off. Deuces.
I pooped my pants.